Andre Calloway never cared much for titles. CEO, owner, boss. Those words meant little to him now, not after the sacrifices it took to reach this point. At 49, with more than 20 years in business and the mental and physical scars to prove it, what mattered most to Andre was people. Who they were when no one was watching. How they treated others when they believed they held the upper hand. That's why, on a humid Friday morning in mid-August, he pulled into the parking lot of one of his newest acquisitions, Harper & Knox, a modest home goods store nestled inside a quiet strip mall just outside Roswell, Georgia. It was the kind of place where people strolled in for curtains, throw blankets, or spice racks. Nothing fancy, just simple, useful things. Andre left the Mercedes at home. He parked in a far corner of the lot, stepped out in worn jeans, scuffed Timberlands, and a plain gray t-shirt. No watch, no entourage, no clipboard, just him and the soft murmur of traffic rolling past. He didn't want to be recognized, didn't want to make an entrance. He wanted to see, and to be seen for who he really was. The Harper & Knox chain had been family-owned for decades before Andre bought out 7 locations in a single deal earlier that summer. The transition was quiet, fast. On paper, it looked like a win. But Andre knew better. Owning the paperwork didn't mean knowing the heartbeat of a store. That took walking in unannounced. No heads-up call. No memo to the manager. Just walking in like any other shopper. He stepped through the glass door. The bell above it chimed. Inside, the air was a mix of lavender sachets and lemon-scented floor polish. Easy listening music played softly in the background. Shelves stood neat and well-stocked, arranged with framed quotes and folded towels. Andre paused beside a rack of accent rugs, scanning the space quietly. The only cashier was speaking with a middle-aged couple near the front counter. That's when he noticed her. A woman, early 50s, white, with a tidy red-blonde bob and an air of tight authority. Her navy blouse was crisply tucked into black slacks. Clipboard in hand, she walked toward him with the straight-backed certainty of someone who believed her word was final. "Can I help you with something?" she asked, her eyes brushing over him and then away just as quickly. "Just browsing," Andre replied, keeping it casual. She didn't move. "Well, if you're not planning to buy anything, I'll need you to step away from the entrance." He blinked. "Come again. I said if you're not shopping, you can't just stand around. Store policy." Andre looked down at the rug beneath his boots, then back at her. Didn't realize looking at merchandise counted as loitering. "Sir," she said more sharply now, glancing around as if she didn't want anyone else to hear. "We've had problems at this location. I can't have people hanging around." Andre didn't raise his voice. "Do you treat every customer like this?" "I'm just doing my job," she snapped, suddenly on the defensive. "This is a professional environment. I don't make the rules." From behind the register, a younger employee cleared her throat. "Miss Trudy." Both turned. The young woman wore short braids and a silver name badge that read Ari Collins. She looked from Andre to the manager, then back again. Her eyes widened slightly. That name, that face. She'd seen both in the company orientation binder. Andre gave her a small nod. Ari said nothing. The manager, Trudy Sloan, turned back to Andre with thinly veiled irritation. "I don't want to make a scene, but I'm going to have to ask you to. You're the manager here?" Andre cut in gently. "I am," she said firmly. "Trudy Sloan." Andre reached into his back pocket and produced a folded corporate document, the kind only issued to upper-level executives. He held it out. Trudy accepted it with a frown, unfolded it, and began reading. The color drained from her face by the third line. "Mr. Andre Calloway," she whispered. He nodded once. "I own this store, and 6 others just like it." She looked back down at the paper as if rereading it would change what it said. Then she looked up again, her mouth moving but no words coming. No one told me you were visiting," she finally blurted out. Andre offered a small smile that didn't reach his eyes. That was kind of the point. Behind her, Ari remained still. Another employee, a tall, light-skinned man in his 30s, peeked out from the stockroom, sensing the shift in air pressure. No one said anything, but the atmosphere had changed. The tension was sudden, but the realization was slow. "I didn't mean to offend you, Mr. Calloway," Trudy stammered. "I didn't recognize you. With everything going on lately, people walking in, stealing, I was just being cautious." "Cautious," Andre repeated. "Yes," she insisted. "I wasn't profiling, if that's what you're suggesting." I didn't say that, he said softly. But you did. A thick silence followed. I've managed this location for 6 years, Trudy pressed, floundering now. We've hit sales goals. Maintained low shrink. I've held this place together. Andre nodded slowly. This isn't about numbers. Then what is it about? How people are treated, he said. Employees. Customers. Everyone. I treat everyone the same. No, he replied. You treat everyone equally. That's not always the same as treating them fairly. Trudy's face tightened. She folded her arms, but said nothing. Andre glanced at the wall clock. Regional management is sending someone. Should be here within the hour. Sending someone to evaluate the store? And you, he replied. She looked like she wanted to argue, but didn't. Instead, she turned back to the register and pretended to busy herself with receipts. In the meantime, the rest of the store was eerily quiet. Customers walked through as usual, unaware of the subtle storm brewing between the ceramic dishes and seasonal displays. Ari moved carefully from behind the counter, finding Andre near the lighting aisle. Mr. Calloway, she said softly. Just Andre, he replied, glancing sideways. I recognized you. I didn't know what to do. You did fine. I should have said something. You were aware. That's more than most. She hesitated. If I were in charge, I think I'd do things differently. Andre turned to face her fully. How so? She makes people feel small. Like we're lucky just to have a job. You think people do their best work when they feel invisible? No, Ari said quickly. I think people give more when they feel seen. Andre nodded. That's leadership. Trudy rounded the corner, smiling too brightly. Just checking in. How are things looking back here? We're fine, Andre said plainly. Trudy shot Ari a tight look. Thank you, Ari. I'll take it from here. Andre raised a hand. She's fine. Trudy's smile cracked slightly. Of course. Actually, Andre said, stepping closer. I need you to do something. Certainly. Go wait in the break room. She blinked. Excuse me. You've made enough decisions for today. Trudy opened her mouth to protest, but noticed both Ari and the other employee watching. A customer nearby looked up too. Without another word, Trudy turned and walked away. She sat in the break room alone, the silence louder than anything she could say. Every version of the conversation ran through her mind, her words sounding worse each time. It didn't make sense. She'd run this store efficiently for years. Didn't that count? But efficiency couldn't erase what had just happened. And she knew it. Out on the floor, Andre didn't make a scene. He walked aisles, made notes, asked questions. He listened. Nolan, the tall man from the stockroom, spoke up. She's made people cry, he said quietly. Never in front of customers. But in that break room, she flips. People stopped showing up. Anyone report her? They did. Nothing changed. So they left. Andre just nodded. Soon, a woman in a sharp blazer entered the store. She made a beeline for Andre. Lena Withers, regional director. Thanks for coming, Andre said. They headed to the back. When Trudy saw them, she stood immediately. Ms. Withers, I didn't know he was the... We're not here for excuses, Lena said, raising her hand. Sit. Trudy obeyed. Lena opened a folder. We've had complaints about this store, communication issues, claims of bias. Until today, we lacked proof. Now we don't. I thought he was, Trudy began. That's the issue, Andre said. You assumed. He leaned forward. This isn't about me being your boss. This is about how you treat people when you think they can't do anything for you. Lena slid a form across the table. Your resignation. You can sign it and leave quietly, or face formal termination. Trudy stared, flushed, then signed without a word. Andre didn't cheer. He didn't gloat. He simply watched. After she left, he stood before the remaining staff. I know today was uncomfortable, but this was overdue. He looked at Ari. You looked with your eyes before speaking. That told me everything. She looked surprised. Effective immediately, your lead cashier. I'll put you on the assistant manager track. Not out of favoritism, because you earned it. Ari's eyes filled. Then to the others, no one else is getting fired. But things changed today. Anonymous suggestion box. Surveys. Say what you need to say. Nolan raised his hand. Can we talk about overtime? Andre nodded. Put it in writing. We'll start there. Later, he helped restock shelves, break down boxes, joke with customers. He stayed until evening. Then, before leaving, he addressed them one last time. I believe in second chances, but I don't believe in letting bad habits become normal just because they're familiar. He looked around. Respect is not optional here. If you can't give it, you can't stay. Ari smiled softly. Angela, a part-timer, nodded. Nolan simply said, "Thank you." Word spread quickly, not from press releases, but from whispers between co-workers across all 7 stores. Not just about what happened to the manager in Roswell, but what Andre had said. Respect isn't earned. It's owed, up front, because we're all human. That sentence traveled farther than Andre ever would. And in every retelling, it reminded someone of what they deserved and what they never had to accept again.